If you look at a dirty roof or a stained render wall on a client's house and think you're just washing away a bit of mud or some basic surface dirt, you are completely missing the real culprit holding that property hostage. It's not just dirt, guys. It is a highly organized, living, breathing, microscopic city called a biofilm. And until you understand what a biofilm actually is, you're going to keep making the same rookie mistakes that get you into trouble in this industry. You see, here in the UK, we've got the absolute perfect climate for this. It's damp, it's wet, it's miserable for half the year. And what happens is these phototrophic organisms, things like green algae, red algae, cyanobacteria, they move in first. They set up shop on those porous roof tiles or that expensive silicon-based render. But they don't just sit there. They actually team up with heterotrophic bacteria and fungi, and together they start secreting this sticky, slimy protective barrier. It's literally a biological shield, an extracellular polymeric substance if we're getting technical, but let's just call it what it is. It's a microscopic fortress that anchors itself deep into the pores of the stone, the slate, the K-rend, whatever it is you're trying to clean. And this is where the cowboy mentality of just blasting everything gets folks into massive trouble. Because what do most guys do when they see a black or green wall? They pull out a high pressure jet washer, turn it up to full whack and start blasting away. Let me tell you, blasting a biofilm with high pressure is exactly like using a microscopic lawnmower on your grass. You shear off the top layer, sure. Visually, on the day, it looks clean. The client is chuffed, you get paid, and you drive away. But guess what? The root system of that living city is still fully alive, buried deep inside those pores. In fact, by blasting it with water, you've just given those surviving microbes a massive drink of water, and you've opened up the pores even more. You've literally triggered them into an even faster, more aggressive, and more stubborn return. Within 6 months, that wall or roof is going to look twice as bad, and you're going to have a very angry customer on the phone. To defeat a biological enemy, you can't rely on brute physical force. You've got to deploy chemical intelligence. You need something that actually breaks down that biological shield at its source, and that's where softwashing comes in. Now, the real secret weapon here, the thing that makes the whole system work, is the surfactant. I talk about this all the time, but if you're just spraying sodium hypochlorite or a DDAC biocide with plain water, you're wasting your time and your money. Plain water has high surface tension. It wants to bead up. It doesn't want to go deep into those tiny microscopic pore spaces where the biofilm city is hiding. It just runs straight off the vertical render or the pitched roof tiles. But when you add a professional surfactant, like our Clever Wash for instance, it completely changes the game. I always tell people to picture a surfactant like a trillion tiny lollipop sticks. One end of the stick loves water, the other end absolutely hates water but loves organic dirt and grease. When you mix that in, it breaks the surface tension of the water. It allows your cleaning solution to wet, to spread, and to cling. Instead of running off, the chemical actually penetrates deep down into the root structure of that biofilm. It literally pries the microscopic organism away from the surface, encapsulating it so it can be safely rinsed away without needing any aggressive pressure. But you've got to get your mixology right, guys. You can't just throw neat chemical at a surface and hope for the best. If you're doing a block paved driveway, maybe you're looking at a strong 1:3 mix of sodium hypochlorite to remove those deep black lichen spots. But if you're on a delicate coloured render, you need to back it off to a gentler 1:6 dilution, or maybe even weaker, to protect that finish from etching or streaking. And then you have to manage your dwell time. You have to let the chemicals sit there and do the hard work of sanitizing the substrate. We're talking 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes depending on the temperature and the level of soiling. You let it do its thing until the organic growth is completely dead, and then you rinse it off gently with low pressure. When you do that, you're not just doing a quick surface wash anymore. You've completely sanitized the property. You've killed the spores, you've dissolved the biofilm, and you've left the substrate in a condition where it's going to stay clean for a hell of a lot longer than any pressure washer could ever manage. And that, my friends, is how you turn a basic cleaning job into a high-value preservation service that clients will happily pay premium rates for. Alright, that's my quick take on biofilms and breaking the biological shield. Go put it into practice, test it out on a small area first, and as always, work safe and keep those standards high. Catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.